Hi guys, and welcome to Gardening Time. Today I'm going to go ahead and take you around and give you a tour of our garden this is middle of April. So we're going to start right here in the front bed, and as you can see, this bed has definitely come to life. This is its third year, and I've planted stuff, even though I planted stuff last year, and I also have put stuff in this year and transplanted stuff, but most of these plants are third year. So just like these hellebores have been in here now, this is their third year, and as well as these dwarf Alberta spruces. You can see that some of the tulips are starting to come out. I'm not sure on the variety of these. I bought these at a grocery store, so they didn't really have the variety on them, or the name on them, because they were potted up and they were just in fancy pots. You can see this is a lace cap hydrangea, and you can see that it is starting to come out. The buds are starting to come out on it. This is its third year in this bed. Last year I had no blooms on this plant, and I was concerned that, and none of all of the stalks basically were dead. I ended up I cut them off to the ground because they were all dead. This year it looks like I'm actually getting some life, and so hopefully, fingers crossed, we'll get some beautiful blooms on those. This is, I believe, a bloomstruck, I think is what it's called, hydrangea. I transplanted this one out of our shade garden on the west side this year. Actually, a couple of weeks ago, I dug it up, and I dug two of them up. There's one on the other side as well, because they weren't doing so well on where they were at. They weren't getting enough water, I believe. So I ended up popping them into this bed, and there were bleeding hearts that were in this bed, and those got way too big and bushy, and they shrouded a lot of my other plants. So I took those and put those where these were at on the west side of the garden. You can see the chocolate kiss astilbe is coming in really nice. All of this is bugleweed. I think it's the chocolate chip variety. I have my lamb's ear. This is its second year. I planted that last year, and I'm so happy to see that coming back. I love lamb's ear. See, there you can see there's a tulip right in there that's just getting ready to open, and these are some more of those white ones that I don't know the name of, tulips that are coming in. And yeah, so that is a look. Let me back up here. So that is what our front bed looks like right now in mid-April. And I'm very, very happy with the way this garden bed has formed. Over here, first off, I got these last fall on clearance. I have two of them. There's another one on the other side of the house, and I'll show you. These are rhododendrons, and I'm going to end up, I think, popping one in on each corner of the house, and then doing some more of the brickwork to form a little bed around them. This is a dwarf variety. I think it only gets, the maximum is 4 feet tall, and by 3 feet wide, so it doesn't get very big at all. Okay, this is our front corner bed, and I've also done some work in here. This I still need to mulch, like all of my beds I still have to mulch. We haven't ordered mulch yet, which we will be doing here probably in the next week or so. But I wanted to show you, this is a 3rd year bed, so all of these plants are basically 3 years. Although once again, I did do some planting this year. I had bought some heucheras, and they came in I think they came in a big container, and there was 3 of them in there, and I bought them last year on clearance. I ended up putting those and filling in this line a bit more on my heucheras. Right there, this one right here, that one actually replaced another heuchera, which was a different variety. It had more yellow tones and orange tones in it, and so it didn't really go. So I popped that one out. I planted that in the west side shade garden, and I put in one of the purple ones in here, and then I put a couple more, like one, I think I planted that one, and then another one farther down. So hopefully I'd like to get a nice solid row of these. I think that would look so pretty, of those heucheras. I think the leaf color is so pretty on those. Here you can see the Jack Frost Brennera that is just coming out. I love these flowers. Let me see if I can zoom in on them for you. They're just so beautiful. They remind me of forget-me-nots. Absolutely gorgeous. And zoom out. Whoops. Zoom out. And then you can also see this is lungwort, which is a beautiful plant. And again, they bloom in the spring along with the Jack Frost. And if I can zoom in, look at those flowers. Aren't those gorgeous? It's like they fade. They come in like a blue, and then they fade to like a pink. Just really pretty. And then you can also see the leaf coloring. It's like the green with the white spots. Really beautiful plants. I also have some more heucheras. This is a different variety of heuchera. I think this is like a butterscotch, or I think that might have been the name of it, butterscotch heuchera. Anyhow, I have 3 of those planted. I planted these last spring, so this is their 2nd year. So hopefully those will fill in nicely. And I'm just really happy right now with the way this bed is coming up. Oh, and the urn. I planted I think it's called a Tectonic Arborvitaes. Anyhow, it's a miniature arborvitae. It only gets, I think, 2 feet by 2 feet wide. And I thought that would be a perfect spot for it. And then I planted some vinca, bicolored. The leaves are bicolored on the vinca. So that's like a vining plant, which I thought would really be pretty as a spiller to spill over the edges of the urn. And then it also gets these beautiful purple flowers as well. So I thought that would be a really nice combo, and I'm extremely happy with the way that looks. All right, let me take you to the back garden. Okay, so here we are at the back garden. It's on the west side of our property, and I wanted to show you how this is coming out. You can see we have, I think that's forsythia in the back there. I ended up getting that plant, I think last year. It was around fall, and I ended up popping that in there. The deer The deer came in this year. We had a ton of snow this year, and the deer ended up coming in, and they groomed back my plants for me. So anyhow, that one would have been bigger if they wouldn't have chomped it down so badly. Next year I'm going to have to, or I should say this fall, I need to make sure that I buy some kind of deer spray to spray on my plants to make them less tasty. Here are some more daffodils. These are I think they're called Ice Kings. Again, they're a double daffodil, and those are just starting to come out. I have some tulips over there. Again, can't remember the variety on those. I'm just happy to see those come out. You can see my sand cherry is pushing out new leaf growth. I'm really hoping that blooms this year. And around the base of it, I planted lavender. I've got to come in and trim that up so it comes in a little bit more bushier. But my goal was to get lavender to circle around that tree. I thought that would be really pretty. Over here, I have a grouping of yarrow, and I ended up growing some seedlings this year, and I've already popped those in because those should be, even though it's mid-April, they should be okay if we do have like a light frost in between now and May. But anyhow, I ended up putting in about 4 or 5 little babies, so to kind of beef up my yarrow section there. And there's some more of the ice follies, I keep calling them ice follies, Ice Kings. Here are my Agastanche Rose and my Agastanche Sunset mints. Those I started from seed last year. I planted them out. It was their first year last year, so this is their second year coming in. And so far, even though I planted some over here, these have not come out yet, so I'm going to wait and see. But these look fantastic. These are really doing nicely. I got to show this. That is a chickadee. I actually got that from my mother-in-law in New York when I visited her back. I think it's been like 3 or 4 years back. And I kept it in a pot, and I was keeping it in the house near a window, and I finally decided to put it out. I put that out last fall, and I am so happy to see that coming back. I'm hoping that spreads out. These are, I just lost the name of them. I can't think. Anyhow, these are little seedlings that I also put out this year. I'm hoping that they're going to be hardy as well to make it if we have a light frost. A couple weeks ago, I replanted those. That is a rutabaga. Is it not rutabaga? God, I'm telling you, I can't think today. Anyhow, I'll put the name on the screen. I replanted these from inside the vegetable garden bed area. I figured they'd end up doing a lot better out here. I also planted some lupine. Those again, I started from seedling. I planted those out. Let's see. Oh, the phlox that I took from the front bed, I ended up putting the 2 right here. Rhubarb, that's what it is. Oh my gosh, rhubarb. I don't know why I always get that. For some reason, every time I think of rhubarb, I think of rutabaga. And it's like, no, it's not a rutabaga. Anyhow, okay. So, yeah, so far, I'm really happy with the way this is a second year bed. The first year we planted was last year. So all of these plants this is going to be their second year coming in. All right. Oh, I did want to give you a goji berry update. I planted some baby goji berries last fall, and I was concerned that they might be too small and they may not make it, but look at that. You see those little green things? Those are baby gojis coming back in. So I'm excited about that. Now, there's one right here, and it's just like some gray sticks. That was the a black goji berry, and that one so far has not come out. I'm keeping my fingers crossed, hoping that it does, but I will keep you updated on that. The other ones are red goji berries, and I know that those grow in zone 5. The black, I think those are supposed to grow in our zone 2, but I don't know. Maybe it was just a little too small to pop. I don't know. We'll see. Anyhow, I'll keep you updated on how that's doing. So there's the forsythia. Yeah, so I am really, really happy so far with the way this is coming out. For a second year bed, I think it's doing just fine. I still have quite a few plants to put in here this year. So yeah, this is going to fill in really nice. Okay, I'm going to take you around to the shaded garden. All right, before I get to the shaded garden in the front, I wanted to talk about this. This is an old flower bed in the back of our garage. I ended up letting this garden go a number of years back. We were doing so many other projects, so many other things, and by the time I had time to come back to it, we were already discussing, doing the garden along the side, and I thought, you know what, this is not really a good place for a garden, so I'm going to end up digging out a lot of these plants. There's a lot of weeds in here too, but there's a lot of beautiful plants, peonies and tulips and daffodils and all sorts of things, lilac bushes. We have 2 dwarf lilac bushes. There's one here, and then there's one also over here. So I want to dig out all the nice plants, and I want to move those to the west side of the garden and clean this area out. And I have some plans for this area. So anyhow, so that's another project that we will be working on. Okay, here we are on the shaded garden, the west side of the house, but it's on the front side of our property. You can see 3 groupings of tulips, white tulips. I believe those are Clearwater tulips. There's really not a whole lot going on in this garden. I plan to add a lot more interest to this garden this year. There are hostas and there's 2 hydrangeas as well that are planted in the back. Those have not come out yet. So there are still things that have not come out. This is some grass that I've got to cut back, and there's 2 columbines. This one over here is one that I took from the front flower bed in front of our home, and put that in there to flank, because there was one here, but I didn't have one over there. So now I have one on each side of the bird feeder, or the bird waterer. That right there is a Nico Blue hydrangea. I'm happy to see that coming back. That was a bare root stock. I planted that last spring. So it's going to be its second year. So hopefully we'll see some action out of that. It'll get a lot bigger. these are my honeyberries. I have 2 of them, one there and one here, and those are actually in bloom right now. I don't know if you can see the creamy white blooms. And oh, we got my bleeding hearts are actually coming up. I am shocked. Now these are the bleeding hearts that I removed these from our front garden bed and planted them here. This is where the 2 broomstruck hydrangeas were, and they weren't doing too well. They weren't getting enough water, probably because of this big tree right here. But I decided to go ahead and put the bleeding hearts right there and see how those do. And so far, I mean, they actually look really good. You can see there's quite a few sticks in here that I still have to clean up. But yeah, and that's basically it. All right, I'm going to take you now to the vegetable garden. Okay, before we go into the vegetable garden, I wanted to show you the outside of it where we have all the pots. We've got blueberries and blackberries and some other berry or fruit bearing plants as well. So the idea here is we want to re-landscape this whole area, and I actually want to put the plants actually in the ground. So I started taking up the stones, but you can still see I've got a little over halfway to go yet. I have to take all those stones up and move the stones, and then we're going to bring out the border a little bit. So I'm going to end up probably putting cardboard down and taking up the landscape material. So anyhow, so this project is still underway. There you can still see we still have quite a bit to do on it. These are the plants that I bought on clearance last fall, and I popped them into our vegetable garden bed to overwinter. I've already planted a few of them. I planted the viburnum. Oh, I forgot to show you that. That's out by the back west side garden. And the heucheras I planted, and then that mini arborvitae I planted. But the rest of them are here all waiting for new homes. But I wanted to show you, they all are coming in. I've had none die. They all are coming back in really, really nicely. So I am super excited. I am super excited to get these in the ground and to see how these do this year. All right, let me, again, before we go into the garden, this is another project. So this is our covered garden bed. We typically grow our brassicas in here, lettuces, carrots, things like that. Things that don't need pollination. But what I ended up doing was I bought this fine netting online, and to keep the white butterflies from getting in. So even though we put in the 1/4 inch metal, the metal, that still was allowing the white butterflies somehow to get in. So I ended up buying that, and what I'm going to do on each one of the doors, because these things actually flip up, I'm going to end up putting the fine mesh screening on the whole thing to cover it, to keep those white butterflies from coming in. But as you can see, you can still see in pretty clearly. So it still allows plenty of sunshine through, and it allows water to get through as well. But it's so fine, it won't allow any of the white butterflies to get inside to harm our plants. This is a kale that actually overwintered in this bed. I was kind of surprised to see that. That is a blue Scotch curl, I believe is the name on that one. I've already planted some things. I put in some parsley and cilantro. I did put in some of my new kale plants, seedlings that I started. This is going to be my carrot bed this year. I'm going to put my carrots in there. Over here, I've got a variety of different things growing in this bed. Some feng gui, pak choi, and lettuce. Okay, let's go ahead and get started on the vegetable garden. So this project is another one. Oops, sorry about that. This project is another one that I am still working on. I got so many projects. But I did end up going along the this row so far and scraping all of the remaining mulch away and getting out all the weeds and stuff like that. So this is ready right now to put landscape material down on this row right here. But I still have, I'm going to show you, you can still see all in here. I've got to get all that up. There right there is a nice fat little weed right there. There's tons of them in here. So, which again is why we're having to do this. Take it all out and start over. So anyhow, so I still have quite a bit to do there. I started filling in some of the holes where I put in my the clearance plants I bought, but I still have quite a few left to go. So yeah, we'll get there. So that's another thing. And the other thing I still have to do is set up my drip tubing, but it's a little too early to do that. We'll wait until probably closer to the end of April before I set up my drip tubing. So anyhow, and I've got my garlic here growing. I need to plant my onions. I need to get those in the ground. My little babies that I started. I did plant in last year again on clearance. I bought some alliums, purple alliums, and I planted those here. They're not going to stay in this bed, obviously, but I think I'm gonna leave them in until they bloom, because I don't want to disrupt them and move them at this point. I want to wait till after they bloom, and then I'll move them and relocate them to a new bed. Probably the one in the back of the garden, back west side of the garden. So anyhow, guys, that is the current state. So yeah, still lots to do, but we'll get there. Anyhow, guys, I hope you are having a wonderful day, and we will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.